Browns 0-8 at home. Just sad.
I haven't heard you this down since Taki Brown got fired. It's a game that we're in, and it's a game that we just don't finish.
I don't want to watch anymore.
Why? Why does it happen? I'm so sick of watching those plays.
0-16.
I definitely do not want to watch this all 22.
That's up and down to me. That looks like dysfunction. Welcome back, Survivors, episode 26, season 3. This is Surviving the Season, live from the Baywater Studios in Tampa, Florida. I'm Adam. Greg is here.
You from Walmart parking lot, proud to be back. Seen a lot of familiar faces around here.
Back again. Let's do a song.
Walmart parking lot song?
Yeah.
Like it. Somebody make
off,
that
man.
up. Send it in. Your Walmart parking lot was the worst song in the history of songs.
Hope you guys enjoyed the special show with Hiram. It was a fiery show. We're getting a lot of feedback on this one, and it's nice to get some comments. So that was fun.
Woke
Thanks,
everyone
man.
up.
Yeah, it did.
People woke up and I crushed my, what the, Hiram Boyd? Are you shitting me? Yep, that was a bonus show. So we are back at our regular scheduled program here today.
It is preview show and recap.
That's right.
We will do the recap first. We've went back. We've watched the game. Mayfield's still good.
Mayfield. I just want to keep starting. I mean, that was the first thing I was going to say. Went back, and did you see the comments that Eric Weddle had to say that, Baker's staring down receivers, and he threw 4 balls that could have been intercepted? Well, that wasn't true. Well, I guess if you say, okay, passes that were tipped, okay, because a couple passes got batted down at the line of scrimmage, okay, you want to consider those interceptable passes? Well, that's just part of the game. That happens. That's not an interceptable pass. Now, there was one pass that didn't get intercepted that could have been picked off. And then the one that actually did get intercepted, we saw clearly from the All-22 that Higgins left him out to dry on that. That would have been at the least a ball that was only broken up by the cornerback, but most likely it would have been a completed pass. But instead gets intercepted. Was not on Baker by any means. Now there's places where Baker will look to one side of the field. They have concepts going where you're just reading one side of the field. When the other team is in a cover 3 or cover 1 situation and the safety is playing on the opposite hash, Baker can do that and still knows he's going to have the time to that safety's not going to be able to get over there and make a play. And that's exactly what he does numerous times. On numerous occasions, he says, all right, I'm going to have one-on-one coverage. Let's see if my guy gets open. It doesn't matter where the safety is because he's playing so far away. He's not going to make the play, and I'm going to deliver a good pass. And the one thing that we see consistently from Baker Mayfield is putting that ball on the receiver in the perfect spot to catch it, to make the play, and to be able to even turn upfield and get some more yardage out of it.
Yeah, that 3rd and 8 pass in overtime to Willies for 39 is still one of the most amazing passes. He's basically off of 1 foot, falling backwards.
I came away with
just sling that fucker.
Yeah, there was 2 things there. I mean, one was just the unbelievable play by Mayfield, but the second thing was Desmond Harrison getting bull rushed. And this is the thing we talked about when they first put him in there. His weight, the size, and that's going to be an issue for him when he has to face a guy that's just so much stronger than he is. And you get Terrell Suggs out there, who's been in this league for a long time. He's lifted a fuck ton of weights throughout his time, and he's bulked up, and he's got so much more strength. He had that ability to be able to push Desmond Harrison right back into Baker, and he did it over and over again. And that happened with both of our tackles. That stood out. Going back and watching the All-22, we said that after the game was over that looked like it was an issue, but that was 100% an issue the whole day. Desmond Harrison, who's been playing good. I mean, he's an undrafted rookie. How much do we really expect out of him? I'm not expecting him to win these reps all the time. I'm happy with with just getting average play. But this is hopefully what he sees there is, hey man, I gotta pick up in this one area, and that's just strength. And one thing you can do, the older you get, you can keep putting muscle on, you can continue to grow, you can get stronger. Typically you don't see people just become more athletic. That's not something that normally happens, but you can become stronger, and that's something that he can improve on, and hopefully that's going to be something in the off season. Not something that you're going to fix in the next 11 weeks.
Yeah.
Hubbard on the other side, same thing. I mean, we knew when they picked him up that he's a guy that is a light tackle. Like, he does not have the prototypical size of what tackles typically have. And then we knew that this was going to be part of it. Now, he had a better game than what Harrison did, but he still had those 2 holding calls. That didn't help him out. And once again, he just got bull rushed a few too many times for my liking anyways.
Yeah. Is the tackle position could be an issue going forward, but is the wide receiver room worse?
Yes.
Yeah. Higgins is out with MCL, maybe 2 to 4. I saw one report 2 to 4 weeks. He's been real good.
Here's the thing. Like, Willis comes in, he makes 3 catches, and, we talk about who the hell is Willis. That's the thing you can get away with Baker, because he's going to put the ball on you. All you got to do is just catch it. And I guess if we just have an average guy out there, we're going to be able to do average things, but we're never going to be an exceptional offense. We're never going to be able to take that to the next level. The reason why Kansas City takes that to the next level, well, one, Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce. Njoku, that's what I'm hoping Njoku can turn into, but he's not near that. Okay. And then they have this other guy out there, Tyreek Hill, who can just catch a 2-yard little screen and take it 80 yards on any single occasion. We don't have a guy that is even in that. I mean, we don't have a guy in the same universe as what he is athletically out there. And you can say Callaway, okay, maybe Callaway possesses some athleticism, not on that level. It's not even close to that level, but and on top of that, he hasn't caught the ball consistently either. So we're never going to be an exceptional offense until you get some exceptional playmakers out there, and we're still lacking in that.
Yeah, not saying Callaway can't become that. He's just not going to be that in Game 6.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't expect it at all this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to make. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen him make big plays. Yeah, against Oakland, he made the big one. Against New Orleans, he makes a big one. But that's not the consistency that you're getting with a Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, agreed.
Going back and watching the worst call in NFL history on the reverse to Streeter, there was one thing. So there was actually a lane for Streeter to run through. Did you watch the all 22 of that play by chance?
Yeah.
Okay, so he had a lane. Streeter runs to the outside. And if he runs through that lane, I mean, it's a gain. It could have turned into a big game because Streeter has pretty decent speed. But it's just, once again, it's just too risky of a play. When you have a guy like Baker who's just let him make decisions because he's making good decisions over and over, let him spread the ball out, let him find the open guy, let him read the field. That's what I would much rather have than throwing the ball into the hands of Rod Streeter, who's been here for a week and a half, and then having him try to make a play. Well, he runs the wrong way, and you can see this because when he runs to the outside, gets tackled, and the all 22, you can see Baker. Baker makes this motion with his left hand going, it should have went right here. There's a lane. There's a lane right here, buddy, and you didn't run through that lane. You missed your lane. So it's a bad call. It may be in retrospect is as bad as what we, the way it turned out. No, it probably actually should have worked for some yardage. The problem is the risk is way too high there. And secondly, you're putting the ball into a guy's hand that should not have the ball.
Yeah. Silly sort of call in overtime also. Just a dangerous play all around.
And then the other play that I really wanted to go over was, so they pick up they're driving. They are down 3. This is late in the fourth quarter. They pick up the 3rd down and 13 by running the screen pass for 15 yards. And then on 3rd down was when he threw it to the end zone, there was like a slant route to the middle of the field, and Crabtree actually has both hands on this, and it would have been a really good catch. It was a beautiful throw by Flacco, and it really should have been 6 points. And I think at the time we might have been under a minute.
Yep.
And that could have been all she wrote right there. Now, we got lucky that we didn't, that we were able to get the ball back in overtime and drive down and get the win. But the game could have basically ended right there. That could have been the end of it. And that's how close these games have been for the Browns. And that's when things we say, like, okay, we could easily be 0-5 as being 5-0 at this point. This is how close all these games have come down to. So they had their opportunity. They missed on their opportunity, but the opportunity presented itself, and the Browns, easily could have lost that game right there on that play. It was 3rd down and 10, and Crabtree hit him right between the hands, and I'm sure he's going to be having nightmares about that one for some time.
Yeah. That it's just called being realistic. Trying to be honest about what's happening on the field. And we're 2-1. Could be better. Could be worse. We're just trying to watch the game with an open mind and trying to be realistic about what we have here. I'm not sure why I'm apologizing for it, but reality, let's find the reality out there instead of just rah-rahing this, all the way home. Well, you guys are giving Hughes shit. Well, yeah, Hughes not coaching well. So it doesn't matter if we're 2-1, if we're 5-0 and 0-5, these games haven't been coached well. So that's why that's why we're being critical, because otherwise why even have a podcast?
Right. I mean, that is why we do it. So we give our opinion. Here's the weird thing. I didn't notice this until after the game. Did you see the snap count by the running backs by chance?
Yeah, I got it right here in front of me too. Hyde with 28.
Yeah, right out of 80.
Yeah.
Didn't it seem like Hyde was out there the majority of snaps? How did during the game, did I not even recognize that Hyde was out that often?
It was interesting because they had put Landry back there. They had snuck Landry out of that position a few times. And when we're taking notes during the game, TV coverage of these games is so poor that we don't see the substitutions because they want to show the coach's face instead of showing me the substitutions. So a lot of times I'm writing shit down from the previous play, and then, you don't really catch it a lot on the live coverage. But I thought 28 snaps. I thought he had 28 carries. I mean, it seemed he was in the game often. Duke had 41 snaps.
Yep.
And I was like, where was Duke?
I don't exactly. I swear to God, I don't remember seeing him the whole game until the final drive, just about. And what you said about Landry, I was going to bring up as well. When it went into overtime, Landry's 2 big catches were from the running back position in shotgun, and he was next to Baker. And that's what we talked about. We're like, well, you're kind of getting a running back style wide receiver here, a guy who catches the ball and does things that a running back typically can do. And now, that's which was a little weird because I should have, I don't know why I didn't look at this, but I should have looked to see who the other wide receivers were at the time, because they probably have Willis and Callaway on the outside. And then they have Landry in there instead of bringing Duke, an extra playmaker. Why would you have Landry doing the job you could have Duke doing, and then having Landry, who's your best receiver at this point, being one of the wide receivers? So I thought that was a little strange, and maybe they're setting these plays up special for Landry in these circumstances, and he was wide open in both of them and made the play, the one he should have got out of bounds, but didn't. But those are opportunities that normally we would see Duke doing, and Landry was set in the back there. But yeah, like you said,
I like it. It's a good idea for Haley to sort of throw some different looks here, because maybe you can get Landry sort of mismatched. Or if you're putting Landry in the backfield and then it's drawing a safety to have to pay attention to him, maybe Duke from the slot can get open. So I think there's some, at least you're trying something interesting and new to find a mismatch sort of with an overmatched wide receiver core. Yeah,
you might get a linebacker that gets stuck on Landry. That's a good point. I mean, that's
delayed his release the one time to sort of hide him.
Yeah. So that I found that interesting though as well. And Chubb got 11 snaps, so that was more snaps than what he had up to this point. But looking at that, I was interested. If you go to PFF for this week, the number one rated player was Baker. I mean, you might as well just put him on top of that list. He's, to me, offensively, I take that back. I was going to say he's the only reliable one, but I think our 3 interior linemen are very reliable. So, right? Am I wrong? No, so Treader, Bitonio, and Zeitler are pretty reliable as well. But Baker is just playing out of this world, especially for a rookie. But he was a number 1 rated guy by PFF. Treader was number 2. DeVelve was number 3. He played 9 snaps. Now we saw him on the one big play, the 26-yard catch, but I'd expect that number to keep going up. 9 snaps this week. He's coming back from the injury, and I think there should be a pretty good role for DeVelve going forward. I think there's a lot you can do with him, honestly.
Yeah. What did the defensive numbers look like? Who did the top of the list on that
top
side?
guy was Jabril Peppers, who we talked about. We said that was his best game. He was all over the field. I mean, he did a really good job in coverage. Now, had Crabtree caught that ball that I was just talking about a moment ago on that 3rd down and 10, that was Peppers that was there. Now, for him to make that play would have been a spectacular play because he has to come, he has to come halfway across the field, not halfway across the field, but he's playing. They're playing cover 2 in that situation, so he's got one half. Randall had the other half, and Crabtree's making that catch right in the center of the defense. So Peppers has to get over and make an excellent play. But I imagine his rating would go down there. But overall, in the other coverage, the other coverages that he was in on, he was excellent throughout the day on that. And he tackled really well. I mean, the one thing we've been struggling in is tackling, and Peppers been the one guy that's been relatively consistent in that area.
Yeah, interestingly, from the snap counts, Peppers had 48 of 87, and Kindred only had 18.
Okay, so that's a step up.
Yeah, that was reversed last week when Kindred played more snaps than Peppers. So, again, they are mixing up, who's out there and who's playing. I know we talked about it with the defensive line. Brian Price played 15 snaps, Carl Davis 7, Zettel 2. Chris Smith played 25, and I think he played well in his limited snaps. So
Chris Smith was the 5th highest defender. I'll just do it real quick. It was Peppers 1, Schobert 2, EJ Gaines 3, Carl Davis only played 7 snaps, but he was the 4th highest graded in his 7 snaps. So that's just a small what am I talking about?
Data point,
data point. And then Chris Smith was 5th. You brought up Brian Price with his 15 snaps. He was the lowest graded on defense.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, he just came up from the.
And it wasn't even that it was terrible. It was just slightly below average. The bottom 5 went Price, Agba, Garrett, Ogunjobi, and Collins, which means the defensive line did not have a good day overall, and none of them were got blown out of the water. It wasn't like that. It was just they were just slightly below average, basically across the board there.
Interesting.
So yeah, defense played solid. Your defense played so good that Garrett was in the bottom 5.
Yeah, and held him to 9 points. That's really good. And then you're also, instead of doing those stupid wholesale changes, you can run these dudes out there at different times and just give different looks and try to give dudes a break. BBC 1 snap on defense. He's completely not finding the field.
Well, okay, so remember, the only way he's going to get in there is if TJ Carey goes down or if Randall goes down, because he's the backup nickel and he's the backup free safety. If those guys are in there, he's going to be sitting. And then, if EJ Gaines goes down, they put Carey back at the outside. Okay, we're in trouble there. Carey shouldn't be playing at the outside. He's bad there. But he's good at the nickel. He's a good nickel cornerback, and he's getting the job done there. When they put him on the outside, he gets toasted. And so that's the problem there. You're not going to take either one of those guys off the field right now to get BBC in there. He kind of lost his opportunity. He had a chance. He had a bad game. They replaced him. And what would be the point of bringing TJ Carey out at this time? He's tackled well. He's covered well in that position.
Right.
Now, if Ward goes out as well, they'll probably, they would be putting Carey out on that side, and you would probably be seeing more BBC. But if he's not going to be in there, I just want him to have an impact on special teams. So he's an important part of the team. Just because he's not playing a lot of snaps in 1 week doesn't mean that you just give up on the guy. It just means the opportunity didn't present itself this week. But he's a very important part of this team going forward.
For sure. We did have a move. McKinnon was waived. They brought Hilliard up from the practice squad. I believe it's a special teams move. McKinnon cleared waivers, and I think he's back on the practice squad.
They might be using him as a returner. And from what I've watched, I don't know how much. I mean, look, if that's what they think we need is a shot in the butt by putting a new returner back there, fine. But if you're not going to block for the guy, it doesn't matter. I mean, you could put, what's the dude that set all the records for the Bears a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Return, remember what? I can't remember that. You put Josh Krebs back there. The second best returner in all of history back there. And I think you're still going to struggle to be doing a lot of things in the return game. Now, the returners have to make a guy miss. They have to find a way to make a guy miss here and there. But overall, the blocking has been piss poor from everything that I've watched. I was talking to Mike Skinner on that. He was saying, oh, good, maybe this will be a good thing. And I say, not from what I've seen. I honestly watched a kickoff return against Oakland where 4 players didn't touch one guy. And then Peppers got drilled and people were outraged. And the guys, I'm not even joking, the guys run right by him. They were like, well, was that the guy I was supposed to block? It almost looks like people don't know what the hell they're doing. That's what it looks like. Who do I block here? What do I do? What do we go? It's really bad.
Yeah, so we'll see what Hilliard can do becoming active this week.
Yeah.
Anything else on the other game?
No, nothing off the top of my head that I can think of.
The Los Angeles Chargers will visit the Cleveland Browns. Chargers are 3-2.
For you. I would have called them San Diego. This whole time I was looking them up in my Football Outsiders Almanac, and I kept looking through the S's. I couldn't find them.
The Chargers don't exist. Yeah, I know. It's so weird that they're in LA. 1 o'clock game. Chargers are 3-2. They have played some pretty good teams, if I can find their schedule. They have lost to the Chiefs at home, and they lost to the Rams, quote unquote, on the road, even though they're both in LA.
Yeah, so those are 2 of the best, if not the best teams in the league that they've lost to so far. And they've beat, who did they beat?
They beat the Bills in Buffalo.
Oh, well, okay, that's the 3rd best team in the league. All right, arguably the worst team in the league. That might not even be arguably.
They beat the 49ers and the Raiders at home.
Did the 49ers have Jimmy G? What week was that? That was 2 weeks ago, right?
So that he was
out.
Yeah. It was better.
Yeah, and they whooped up on Oakland.
Yeah, just this past Sunday, 26-10.
And I watched that game. Oakland, Derek Carr, of course I played him in fantasy. Derek Carr threw a pick in the end zone on the 1 yard line when they could have easily given it to Marshawn Lynch. So that didn't help them out early in the game. But they couldn't move the ball against this defense, to be honest. I don't think, what's his name? We couldn't stop Amari Cooper. I think he either had 1 catch or 0 catches last week. So their cornerback is especially good for the, what is his name?
Casey Hayward.
Casey Hayward, yes. Casey Hayward last year, if you recall, he went up against Gordon and did an excellent job. Now, Gordon made a couple catches in that game that were like spectacular catches, but he's like Denzel Ward. He's in your hip pocket all the time. Now, are they going to move him around and put him up on Landry the whole time? I don't know. I don't know exactly how they're going to play the Browns this week. I doubt it, because they'll want him on the outside. They might even match him up just with Callaway if they're more worried about Callaway being the speed guy getting beat by Callaway. Mm-hmm. But he's one of the top cornerbacks in the league. Joey Bosa, we know, is out with the injury. But on the other side of him, they have Melvin Ingram, who just gets after it. I mean, consistently getting to the quarterback. If you look at their DVOA ratings, you look at their defense, they are the 18th ranked defense. Okay, 21 against the pass, or 21 against the run, and 16 rank against the pass. And this is going up against a pretty tough schedule, like you said. That's some pretty good offenses there that we've talked about. And to limit the Raiders to 10 points, you have to be doing something right, because that's an offense that just moved the ball at will against us. So I think this is going to be, that 18th ranked DVOA might not actually match how good of a defense this can be. So I think this is another really tough test for Baker this week, that we hope he can come out slinging the ball around like he did last week.
If we're going to talk about their secondary, somehow by some miracle of terrible drafting by the rest of the league, Derwin James fell to the 17th overall pick. The Chargers scooped him up, and he's playing lights out.
Right, that's the guy that I wanted the Browns. So we took Denzel Ward. So I'm very happy we took Denzel Ward. But before the draft, I was saying we need to trade back with Buffalo at 12 or whatever. Whoever will move up, we can get a next year first. We can get a couple seconds, whatever we can get, and we can still get Derwin James there. And to me, people said, well, he's a strong safety. You don't need it. No, he is what everybody wanted Jabril Peppers to be. He is that Swiss Army knife. He plays linebacker. He's played outside corner. He's played nickel corner. He's played free safety. He's played strong safety. He's the top rated rookie by Pro Football Focus, 85.8 overall. He's a 90 in the pass rush. He's got 3 sacks on the year. He's constantly getting pressure when they blitz him. In coverage, he's an 80, which is well above average. I mean, the guy gets it done, and he can do everything, and he does everything well. And it's basically like having a Myles Garrett in the secondary. Okay, am I happy with Denzel Ward? Yes, 100%. But this is a guy, like you said, that the rest of the NFL seem to undervalue or something. I don't know how he ends up lasting to pick 17, where players that got taken before him aren't even close to as talented. But this is a guy, man. He's got a number of turnovers where he's making people pay. And I'm sure he'll be running after Baker on a couple of these opportunities when he gets a chance to rush the quarterback. And then last year, on top of him, there was Desmond King. Remember, we talked about Desmond King in 2017, how much we would like him as a nickel corner. And he's been absolutely lighting it up for the Chargers for 2 years. He does punt returning. He gets his hand on a ton of balls. They really have drafted well. The Chargers have. They have, when you talk about just a roster, if you just look on paper, the Chargers should be in the Super Bowl every single year. They have such a good team. They just don't perform. Well, one, they get hit by the injury bug every year. This year they lose Hunter Henry. Last year remember all the players that were injured last year? They lose Jason Verrett every single year. But they're constantly getting hurt, and their offensive line went through a rash of injuries. But they're relatively healthy outside of Bosa this year, outside of Hunter Henry. So they have the players here. They have the players to compete. It's just a matter of are they going to be able to show up, or are we going to be able to show up this week? What's the spread on this one?
Well, take a guess. What do you think the Browns should be getting?
4.
Yeah, weird, right? I would guess 4 or 5. Browns are a 1-point underdog.
We're fucking good, dude.
The Browns are catching some respect here.
Yeah, put some respect on our name, bitches.
Yeah. Maybe it's because Travis Benjamin's down, so we don't have to have the could have had him talk with Travis Benjamin this week.
I forgot Travis Benjamin's there. Yeah, that's right.
He's out.
Could have had him, Travis Benjamin. Offensively, they're really good. They're the number 3 ranked DVOA offense. Number 3 in the pass, number 21 in the rush. But you look, they have good backs, so they can run the ball with Melvin Gordon. And then Austin Eckler, who just adds a completely different dimension. They really know how to use their running backs when it comes to catching balls out of the backfield. Eckler caught a screen pass last week, made a guy miss, ran the ball for a huge touchdown against Oakland. And then as I'm watching that, scouting this for this week, I immediately thought this is definitely something that could happen against our linebackers. So I'm a little worried of what Austin Eckler can do against us. And Melvin Gordon is more of like your bell cow type running back who you're going to give a fuck ton of carries to. He catches the ball really well out of the backfields as well.
Yeah, Eckler in his second year, he was undrafted free agent. Good find there by the Chargers.
Yeah.
A guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield, do some stuff.
Yeah, so interestingly, this week, if you went over and looked at the DVOA rankings again on Football Outsiders, the Browns have moved up to number 2, the number 2 ranked defense in the league. How do you feel about that?
That's awesome. That's great.
I mean, I guess it's hard to really gauge it unless you've watched every game and every defense in the league.
Yeah, right.
But it seems like, well, I'm thinking they probably have a high variance on turnover differential, that kind of stuff. Right, and it probably really moves the meter one way or another there. This is like an efficiency rating, the number 2 overall. Against the run, we're the 8th, and against the pass, we're the 2nd. Now, this is different than last year. If you recall how good we were against the run, we were at the end of the year last year, we were the 4th ranked defense against the run last year, but we were the 26th ranked defense against the pass.
You want that the other way around.
Exactly, and we are. We're the number 2 against the pass, and that's where you really make your money in the NFL. You have to stop the pass first, and then, what happens in the run game happens in the run game. Not a big deal. It's not the end of the world, unless, of course, you're giving up 300 yards a week or something. But, this is a huge matchup for the D. It's the number 3 ranked passing in the Chargers versus the number 2 ranked pass defense in the Browns. So we'll see which one bends and which one breaks and what happens. I don't know. What do you think here?
Is this Keenan Allen versus Ward all day, or?
Well, Keenan Allen is typically a slot guy. Mike Williams is their outside receiver that they drafted last year. He's done better this year. I mean, he's not Mr. Consistency or anything, but he's a nice red zone target with his size. You remember him being with Deshaun Watson at Clemson. And then on the other side, they have the guy that's been there for a long time, and now his name is completely slipping my mind.
Tyrell Williams?
Tyrell Williams, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Tyrell Williams, he'd be the other one if Travis Benjamin is out. So those are 2 big receivers, tall guys. Do I really want Denzel Ward covering tall guys like that? I'd rather not. I would rather have him going up against Keenan Allen, which Keenan Allen's not short, but at the same time, it's probably a guy that fits his style a little bit better, quicker rather than a big physical guy.
Yeah, they also have Antonio Gates from the tight end spot. He's been in the league forever.
What's he, dude? Like 50 years old at this point?
Yeah. Virgil Green as a second tight end. I think Hunter Henry is out for the season.
He is. Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe even before training camp.
Yeah, so they got a couple good tight ends that can do stuff that will be always nightmare against the Browns defense. Tight ends running all over the place. So
yeah.
We can keep that in check.
Yeah, but it's not like Antonio Gates runs that well anymore. He's definitely lost a step over time. But Virgil Green is actually getting more snaps than he is at this point. Virgil Green doubled up his snaps. He's at 214 and Gates is at 112. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of Virgil Green then.
Yeah.
But they have a solid offensive line as well. I mean, pretty decent offensive line that our guys are going to have to deal with. And our front 4 has been good. They might have struggled a little bit last week, but they've been getting the job done, and we can just keep up that pressure rate. It seems like Phillip Rivers sort of has a knack of making some random turnovers here and there, and I think that's going to be something that the Browns can definitely do. And I imagine the crowd is going to be, the game I went to, the crowd was ridiculous. From what I heard last week, the crowd was ridiculous. I think there's a lot of momentum. I think the crowd may be at an all-time high this week because we are floating on cloud 9, like we are just ready. I mean, my buddy said he's going to get the. You ever see when somebody has a shaved head and they have like the helmet painted on their head, like it's just a helmet with a face mask in the front? He said if the Browns win the Super Bowl, he's going to get that tattooed on his head. So I don't know how we can make this happen. Yes, I don't know how we can make this happen. But somehow the Browns, just for that reason only, have got to win the Super Bowl. I want to see him try to get a date after he has this terrible tattooed on his head. And I know him. He will do this. So.
Jesus. Predictions.
Oh, I think this is an easy win as usual. I have the Browns 35, the Chargers 17. We blow them out. They get 17 points in the fourth quarter. We just put the scrubs in because we just JV squad gets in, freshman.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Browns get ahead early and then let the D line just chase, go get them. We know they ain't running.
Yep,
that'd be fun.
And we haven't been in that position, and we look at how good Miles has been up to this point, and what does he have, 5 or 6 sacks or whatever it is this year? But when you really start racking up those sacks is when you are put in those positions where the offense has to throw, and you're just pinning them ears back, and you are just going full bore for those quarterbacks. I mean, that's when you start really foaming at the mouth as a defensive end. That's when you're about ready to not only earn your paycheck for that year, but you're about ready to get it's good when you go to sign that next check and they go, oh shit, you had 22 sacks in 2018, Miles. Oh shit. Okay, well, we have to make you $100 million man. Maybe even per season.
Yeah, it should be fun. I think the Browns are going to pull one out.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
I mean, it should be exciting either way. Once again, we are back, man. Like, we are back. Every single game is going to be a good game. There's going to be, it's going to be competitive. We are here. We have the talent. No, it's undeniable at this point. We have a good defense and we have a good quarterback. So you can make, on any given Sunday, you can make this work. You can beat any team in the league. You get some turnovers, and you got a guy that's not going to do stupid things. He's going to put you in position to put up points on, put points on the board. We have that. Now, do we have some areas that we need to improve on? Of course we do. Of course, every team does. We might have a little bit more than other teams where we need to improve. We need wide receivers. We need tackles. There's stuff that's got to get better. But this team is ready to win. It's unacceptable if we don't win. If we tie or we just barely lose, I don't want to hear, well, we tried hard. No, we're ready to win every fucking game, and it's time. It's time, people.
Let's go.
Road to redemption, baby. We're on
Let's do it. We have a few tests here. Chargers, Bucks, Steelers, Chiefs, Falcons.
Easy games.
Next 5. 3 of them are at home. Play on the road against Tampa and back in Pittsburgh. And then there's a bye week there. And I think we'll have like a pretty good shot of really knowing what we have for the last 6 games. And then we'll start even getting close to start talking about drafts. We need.
I thought you were going to say Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, no, you just mentioned it, about the pieces that we need.
No, I know, but we're going to, after that, we'll be going, should I buy Super Bowl tickets now or should I wait?
Yeah. That'll be the bye week talk, making playoff.
We went from talking draft at week 8 last year to now talking about buying Super Bowl tickets at week 8. Only in Cleveland, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
All right, we're out of here.
I don't know. Are we? You got anything else today, sir?
The Tampa Bay game on the 21st. For sure, the crew from our brother podcast, Sins of Our Fathers, and myself are going to meet up after the game. I think we have some listeners that are going to that game. We're going to get you guys a location. We'll tweet it out. I'm sure Sins will tweet it out. It's probably just going to be Hooters or something after a game. So it should be a good time. If anyone's going to the Bucks game, you can DM us if you want more information or send over your number or whatever.
Nice.
You guys got something to do, right?
I'm trying to get out of it, man.
Well, you got 10 days to do it, so.
I'm trying. I don't know how it's going to work. It doesn't look good for me.
Yeah.
It looks, prognosis is fatal.
Yeah. Yeah, well, these games sneak up. It's like all of a sudden we're there, and we haven't really got too much planned. So I did want to get that.
I want to badly. I feel bad. I want to be there. I mean, this is something we got to do more going forward for sure. I mean, even Paul Brown, I believe, is going to be in the game this weekend. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make that one, but so Paul Brown podcast. That's I would like to go and say what's up to him and it seems like I never get a chance to go and do the tailgating thing or any of that when I go to the game either, because that would be another thing to go and see some of these people that we get to communicate with on a daily basis.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. So
I'm bummed.
Yeah, stay tuned. Yeah. I'll get info for it.
You never know. You never know. All right. Anything else, sir?
That's it. Twitter is at STS Podcasts. Email is survivingtheseason@gmail.com. Patreon.com/STS Podcasts. If you want to become a producer of the show. Thank you all for your support, listening, sharing the show. We appreciate it very much. #Road to Redemption. Gregory, tell them what we say.
Keep on surviving.